the best-known primary products of beekeeping. This sweet golden liquid from the beehive is a popular kitchen staple loaded with antibacterial and antifungal properties that has been used since the early days of Egyptian tombs. Apart from thousands of homemade recipes, honey has been used in many applications, including baking, confectionery, preserves and syrups, meat, tobacco manufacture, and other minor applications. To use it for such purposes, honey requires processing to remove wax and any other foreign materials. Currently in the country, there are several companies that are involved in honey processing. Among them is Tharaka Honey, located in Rocca, some few kilometers away from the Eastern Bypass. It is a private company founded by Professor Miriam Kindiki and her husband Professor Isaiah Kindiki. Today, we shall tour the refinery and enjoy the Tharaka Honey story of success.
Tharaka Honey Bee Products is a company that was initiated the year 2009, September. That's when it was registered with the Register of Companies. And basically what we normally do, we do beekeeping. We collect honey from our farms and other from our other beekeepers whom we have recruited to join us. Then from there we bring honey, then we process, we separate honey and beeswax. And then we get honey alone and beeswax are separate. Then we bottle it, as you see the bottles that I'm holding. Then from there we take it to the supermarkets. But there are several other procedures that we take from the beehive, the whole process until when it reaches to the final consumer.
As business administrators by profession, Professor Miriam and her husband considered self-employment back in their 20s, and without wasting any time, they decided to focus on beekeeping as a business venture. Professor Miriam drew her inspiration from her father, who used to harvest honey from log hives and sell. Her father believed that honey was the only enterprise that could fetch an income even during the drought season. To kick off their venture, the couple visited the National Beekeeping Station in Ngong for advice on an idea that did not bear any fruits as they were shunned away. They, however, did not give up, as they made it their goal to learn all they could on beekeeping and honey processing. Professor Miriam also attributes her inspiration of beekeeping and honey processing to her health. After a continuous struggle with tonsillitis, the recommended use of pure honey is a decision that she attests helped the situation. Based on her experience, she took it upon herself to educate and help others learn the benefits of taking honey.
Okay, like any other Kenyan, I'm a business administrator by profession. That's what I studied. But I got employment. I've worked with various other industries, but I really wanted to see what I can do on my own and also create employment. That was back in 2004. But it took me a lot of time before I started beekeeping, but I had the interest of doing beekeeping. Then I developed problems, complication of sinus. I used to have very stubborn tonsillitis. And there's a time I was in an hospital in Israel, and the doctor told me that I should stop taking processed sugar. I should stop taking cocoa, tea, coffee, because my sinus was so bad and they were developing now. They were going down into the chest and they were developing into asthmatic. So I was told to stop using those products, and I started taking honey and herbal tea. That time I never knew what is herbal tea. But back in home, in Tharaka, there's a product that is grown there called hibiscus and also chamomile, but I never knew what even that was the herbal tea. From there I started using it, but then I had a lot of problems of getting honey in the supermarkets. Because most of the time I could go find the honey that is in the supermarket, it is either crystallized. And because of, maybe I can call it ignorance, like many other people are ignorant about the nature of honey, that it is normal for honey to crystallize. I could say that honey was bad. But true, some of honey was bad in the market. So mostly I was buying the imported honey, the Capilano, the Australian honey, which was very expensive for me. Back at home, there's a project that was started by missionaries back in 1967. in a church called Methodist Church in Tharaka, Marimanti, rural training, where they first set the honey training. That's where they started doing. The first honey process was done in Tharaka. So I would move from here, go to Rocca. As I'm going home, I would buy a lot of honey for my consumption. And I realized that that honey was very nice. And visitors like you could come to my house, then I could serve you with honey, and then people would ask me, Miriam, where did you get this honey? It's so nice. Can you give us some? Then I started thinking of, by the way, because I was thinking of doing business, why don't I make this product to be my business? And that's how I would go now, because I remember the first consignment of the Rakani, I started with 9,000 Kenya shillings, whereby I went and I bought 90 jars of honey at a very local label. I came, I removed that label, then I started branding it Tharaka Pure Honey. From there I could sell to 1, 2, 3 people, and that's how the Rakani was started. Then I realized that the demand for the Rakani was becoming big. From there, I wanted to know more about honey. Then I went to college to study more about honey and understand it so that I can be doing the business from an important part of it. I went to Baraka College, where I was trained in beekeeping and bee processing. From there, then I started now buying honey from beekeepers. I would even commission young people, the youth people. We could go to the village, collect honey, and then I could go even, I started now moving all over in the country looking for quality honey. I would go even to Kirogolis, in the Masai area, sleep in those manyata in search of honey. Then I realized that the demand for honey was becoming big and big every day. And then I recruited more farmers. I started keeping several hives so that we can get enough honey for us. And as we talk today, we collect a lot. We collect a lot of honey from our apiaries, tons of honey, and then we process, and then we sell it to the supermarket, to the hospitals, to the hotels. And so far, our blood is known, and it's really loved by people because what we do, because from the point of my insurance, because I was looking for honey it will heal my problems, which really did. So I also wanted to give that product to somebody else who could be having a similar product to me. So when it comes about quality, I really advocate for quality because I really want to give person to get that product of the honey that is real honey, pure honey, that will solve the problem of other patients like me who could be having similar problems. And the response so far in the market is so good, and I really thank God about that.
Tharaka Honey initially started with a few beehives in Tharaka County. Eventually, they expanded and managed to have several beehives, also referred to as apiary points, in different parts of the country. This has since increased honey production for their enterprise.
We have got several apiary points. Some of them, we have some apiary in Ruiro, Kiambu. We have other hives in Tharaka. We have other hives in Kachariba, West Pokot. And our interest is actually to enlarge and to have beekeeping all over Kenya so that we can have enough of quality honey.
Professor Miriam and her husband have extended their farming initiative by training other farmers within Tharaka on beekeeping practice. After successfully harvesting their honey, the various farmers then sell their honey to Tharaka Honey processors. When Tharaka Honey was still a young enterprise, Professor Miriam recruited some youths to collect honey in different apiary points in Tharaka area. This business model displayed lots of challenges, especially because the laborers would steal from them. She then decided to change her business model and started collecting honey herself. For this, they acquired a truck that moved from point to point, collecting the honey for further processing.
Mostly we collected from our apiaries, but we have got also our own groups, other farmers, whom we train because of the quality control. And those are the people that we encourage them to bring. So even though, for example, you want to join the beekeeping industry, you have to undergo some training so that you can be trained on how to handle honey. Because honey is very sensitive and there's nothing much that you process. So if you don't handle it properly, you will adulterate it and it will not be safe for consumption. So whenever you are getting it from the third or a second person, that person, you must be very sure that he knows how to follow, how to handle that honey. Yes, from the apiary throughout.
Due to high demand of their refined honey, Tharaka Honey Processors ensures a continuous production process so as to satisfy their customers' demand. Professor Miriam articulates that with the continued demand of honey, they have to train more farmers to be able to supply them with honey to sustain the market.
Our production here is continuous. It's like a daily activity. That is my full-time employment. So unless when we don't have honey, it is never enough. It is from date 1 to date 30. Only when, because honey is seasonal, when you don't have honey, that's when you don't produce. So it is a continuous process.
Most honey processors alter natural honey by adding substances such as sugar, glucose, or syrup. This then affects the quality of the honey. Professor Miriam asserts that pure natural honey can be beneficial to people who suffer from sleep disorders, as when mixed with chamomile and milk, it promotes better sleep. Pure honey mixed with ginger and lemon also helps prevent and treat cold coughs.
The moment you start mixing these products, you increase the moisture content of honey, which means that honey might start even fermenting, and that the quality of that honey will start being compromised. So for us here in Tharaka Honey, before we reach to that one, we encourage customers either, like in my case, whereby I'll take the pure honey that I know it is 100% pure honey, just as made by bees. Then I'll take other products like if it is hibiscus or chamomile or ginger or lemon. Then I mix those ingredients together and then I take the products. Now when it is mixed. Well, for those who are doing it so far in the market, maybe they could have done their own research and known how to control from that honey from going bad. I'm not sure how they do it and how good it is. But what I know is that, like when you mix honey with the chamomile or with this other product that is so good when you have problems of maybe you are not getting enough sleep. This is cinnamon. And you add cinnamon, honey, and milk. You get a very nice sleep. So I encourage you take that honey, that bottle of honey, the one that the Tharaka honey, you take it, you mix with the milk and chamomile or cinnamon, and you'll sleep very well. It works so well in you. You mix lemon and honey, ginger, it will solve your sinus problem or the cough-related problem.
After the extraction of honey from the honeycombs, Tharaka Honey Limited ensures to refine the honey, removing any impurities, scum, bees, and particles of wax. This ensures that the honey is of good quality and has a longer shelf life. After they receive honey from the farmers and their own apiaries, they weigh the honey and test it for the moisture content. This is to ensure that the honey can be stored for a longer time without fermenting. They also do further lab tests to ensure quality honey is refined to a maximum.
This section is where we receive, after we get our honey from the apiaries, it's normally received from here. Then from here, we weigh to check the weight of honey that has come from the hives. So after you can show them how we weigh our honey. So what you normally do, we take this honey and place it here. Just press it. And from there now, you see that is 46. We do recording 2 people so that we avoid and make sure that there are no errors that are done. So the 2 people do the recording. Yes, from there, this honey that you have received now, it has been weighed. Then we get it inside, and then we sample it so that we test the quality of honey. After weighing, we normally carry other several tests to check the quality of honey. And the first one that we do, we check with the moisture content. Quality of honey or the moisture content of honey is supposed to be between 13 and 21. If it exceeds 21, that honey is not mature and it starts to ferment. It becomes sour or it becomes beer. So for it to be within the normal standards of honey, it has to be between 13 and 21. And we normally use the refractometer. This one is called honey refractometer. It's the one that we check to check the moisture content. So let me demo it. Alpha, just open for me. You have to smear on this. Just cover that one. Just cover it now. Like this one, if you check on this one, it's 19. That tells you that it is of good quality. It is within the moisture content that is required for any quality honey. Now this honey is checked now again randomly, because sometimes you can maybe it has not come from our hives, all of it. Maybe it has come from other farmers. And as I say, some farmers might not be very genuine or not be very honest. They might have added other just to increase the quality of honey. So we also check, we undertake another test to check whether that honey is pure or if it has been adulterated. There are those people who say that people had sugar or even other molasses. So we check, we go out the little tests to the lab using some chemicals to check for any adulteration, if there's any sugar added or anything. And if that test fails, then you know that honey was not pure. So that one we normally check before we process our honey.
Honey moisture content, or the amount of water content, should be less than 17.8%. If the moisture content is too high, say greater than 20%, the honey may ferment due to yeasts in the honey. At Tharaka Honey, checking the moisture content of the collected honey is one of the crucial activities, as the standard requirement is 19 to 21 degrees. Professor Miriam states that beyond 21 degrees, the moisture content may cause the honey to crystallize days after storage. To measure the moisture content, they use a gadget called refractometers. Honey refining is a very critical process, as it will be a determinant of the shelf life of the honey processed.